Hey guys, it's Lionel here. Today's video is going to be for my beginner Japanese learners. Today I'm going to show you the only 2 books you're going to need to get started in learning Japanese, how to use them effectively, and how to use the core 2000 decks to accelerate your learning as a beginner Japanese learner. So without wasting any more of your time, let's get straight into the video. Why am I so serious? So for those who are new to my channel, the video you're watching right now is one video that's part of a multi-video playlist, which is called Lionel's Japanese Course. This playlist teaches you in great detail how to go from a beginner in the Japanese language all the way to fluency. So for those who are just looking to learn Japanese, go to my YouTube channel, click on playlist section and click on that Lionel's Japanese Course, and then just watch from the very beginning, the very first video, and you're sorted. For my students who already know the drill, let's recap. For those following the AJAP method, which is all Japanese all the time, we have just completed learning kana and learning kanji, and we've also touched a little bit on making an emergent environment. And now we're going to get started on the journey of making 10,000 sentences. In other words, phase 4, sentences. Those following the refold method, we have just finished stage 1B, building the building blocks. Or is it learning the building blocks? I don't know which one it is. But anyway, you know what I'm talking about, which is learning kanji and learning kana. And now we're moving on to stage 1C, which is jumpstarting comprehension. So let's get started. So let's start off with the only 2 books that you need to learn Japanese or to start learning Japanese. In my personal opinion, the only 2 books you actually need to start learning Japanese are, drumroll please, Genki 1 and Genki 2. Yep, Genki 1 and Genki 2. The use of the Genki 1 and the Genki 2 books are for you to gain a foundational knowledge and understanding of the Japanese language, so that after you complete them, you can then go on to the core 2000 Japanese decks that I've showed you guys how to get on Anki in my Anki tutorials. So for those who don't even know what the core 2000 deck is, go and watch my Anki tutorials, which are in the playlist as well, and then come back and watch this video later. But yeah, the use of the Genki books are for you to gain a foundational knowledge in the Japanese language, so that when you start going through the core 2000 decks, you can go through them without being confused. By confused, I mean that you looking at a sentence and not actually knowing what certain words mean, whether a certain part of the sentence is a grammar structure, and just not knowing how the different parts of the sentences come together as a whole to mean what it actually means. So why the Genki books first? Because as a beginner, you know absolutely nothing. You know absolutely nothing. So immersing and sentence mining is absolutely useless to you because you know nothing. Like when you immerse, it's going to be a bunch of gibberish. The Genki books are going to help you turn the Japanese language from a bunch of gibberish into a bunch of sounds that actually have meaning to you and your brain. Think of it like adjusting a radio to a certain radio station and trying to get that clearer signal. You know when it's like, and then you can hear some words and so on. Like right now to you, the Japanese language or any other language that you're trying to learn sounds like a broken radio. Unclear, just that constant grrr sound. You know what I'm saying? And your goal right now is to take it from that grrr to the actual audible sound that you actually understand. And that's what the Japanese language sounds like to you. And on top of that, when you see the Japanese language as a beginner Japanese learner, this is what it looks to you right now. Bruh. The more you know, the more clear it becomes for you, and the more you just understand. Now that's enough theory. Let's now just move on to my laptop so we can see how you're actually going to go about using the Genki 1 and the Genki 2 books effectively to kickstart your comprehension in the Japanese language. Now on my laptop, let's get straight into how we're going to use these Genki 1 and Genki 2 books effectively. So the first thing that we're going to do is click on the link in the description and we're going to buy the Genki books. For those who like the physical copy, buy your physical copy. I prefer everything digital, makes things easier. So this is your Genki 1 book. This is how we're going to go through it now effectively. So you're going to open it up, it's going to look like this. You're going to scroll down. We don't care about that, we don't care about that. Here it's teaching about the Japanese writing system. I've already made a nice video about the Japanese writing system, hiragana and katakana, and also kanji as well. So you can go check out my videos as well on my channel. So you don't really need to read through this description, but if you want, you can. in case I missed anything, but I don't think I missed anything from here. So you first get your book, you're gonna open up and you'll go all the way down, okay, to here. To greetings, Aisatsu. So what you're going to do is that you're gonna have your Anki open. So when you're studying the book, you're gonna open up your Anki, put it to the left side, and your Genki book to the right side. Just create a deck, and you're gonna call it, I don't know, whatever you wanna call it. Just call it, you know, let's call it Genki Sentence Mining or something like that. And now we're gonna click add. And we're gonna have our normal, usual card type, you know. If you don't have these card types, again, my Anki tutorials, go watch them. So yeah, you know, and make sure it's going to the right deck. We're putting it in the Genki Sentence Mining deck. Boom. And put that on the split side of the screen here. Boom. So this is what you're going to do. Yeah, sorry that I look a mess, but one thing I forgot to add is that with the card type that I've shown you in Anki, when you make a flashcard and it has audio as well, it will automatically make 2 flashcards with that one flashcard you made. It will make a flashcard where it has the expression on the front or the sentence on the front, and then you review it and you have to test your understanding of the meaning or the translation of that word. And the second flashcard that it will automatically make is the flashcard with the audio on the front. So it will play the audio for you, you hear it, and then you have to try and understand what has just been said by the audio in your head, and then click next. So yeah, when it comes to making flashcards, you don't have to make 2 flashcards for each flashcard, one for audio and one for reading. It will automatically make the audio flashcard for you. All you have to do is fill in each field. Just make sure you fill in the field for expression and one for audio, and then it will automatically make 2 flashcards for you. So yeah. It's first teaching you how to do the greeting. So what you're going to do is you're going to make flashcards, sentence mine, from the greeting section first. Get your snippet tool, which should be on every computer. I don't know what you use on Mac, but whatever tool allows you to screenshot. I'm gonna get my snippet tool and I'm gonna go like this. Boom. You're gonna take the little picture, you're gonna put that in the images, Control V, paste it in. And if you don't have a Japanese keyboard, I'm gonna have to teach you how to get a Japanese keyboard. But I'm just gonna assume you guys know how to get a Japanese keyboard. But you're gonna then type the word Ohio, which means good morning. And it's showing you the context in which it's used. No English involved here. But if you need English, you can put the English on the back. But we're trying to just learn Japanese through context, right? So on the back where it says meaning, you're gonna put good morning. It's pretty obvious because you can tell by the picture. Good morning. And you can add audio. I'm gonna teach you in future videos how to add audio to your flashcards. Your first couple of flashcards starting off learning Japanese are gonna be crap, or at least until I release my videos on how to record audio for your flashcards and so on. But for now, until that video comes out, this is how you're gonna make your, you're gonna go through the Genki book and you're gonna click add. And you're gonna do that again for the next one as well. Boom. And you add the, I'm gonna make flashcards for each one of these scenarios, these greetings. You know, it's got the translations on the bottom here as well. So we're gonna make flashcards for each one of these greetings, yeah? Stay away from the romanization. You should know how to read hiragana and katakana from my hiragana and katakana video. When making your flashcards, do not put this. But you can in the beginning for guidance, right? So, but I recommend staying away from it. And yeah, so do flashcards for each one of the greetings and add the images so you know the situation in which the greeting is used. Now we're gonna go. Then you go down, it's telling you about expression notes. You can make flashcards about the expression notes. What you can do, just use a snippet tool, read the description. If you want, you can put get a screenshot of the description. On the front, you can just be like, okay, it's teaching you about Ohio is used between friends and family members, while Ohio gozaimasu is used between less intimate acquaintances. So just extra information. So what you can do, you don't have to make a separate flashcard for this. What you can do for this expression note is that you can just copy and paste, go to the flashcard you made for Ohio gozaimasu and add that to the notes. So what you can do that, you can add that on the meaning side, you can paste that little image there to give you additional information and some additional context as to what the meaning of Ohio gozaimasu is. Or you can read it, understand it, and put it into your own words. But anyway, if you want to do the practice, I didn't really do it, but you can if you want. Okay, lesson 1. This is how you're gonna go through each one of the chapters because they all follow the same structure. So this is some good reading practice. They've put here you know, so you can read the lines if you want. We don't care about that. So yeah, so what you're gonna do, chapter 1, you're gonna read the dialogue if you want to get some good hiragana and katakana reading practice. Read through if you want. If you understand the whole sentence, like you know what sumimasen means, you know what nanji desu ka means as well, add that sentence in. But what you really want to do is scroll down, and it says there's a vocabulary list for each chapter. It gives you the vocabulary that popped up within the dialogue section, which is up here, and it gives you more as well. So what you're going to do as a beginner Japanese learner, go through the vocabulary list, and you're going to pick out the words you feel like you care about. Not every single one of them, just the ones you feel like are going to be useful to you. To be honest, the more words you know, the better it is for your understanding. But there's just some words you should use your common sense and feel like, okay, I don't need to learn this because is it really going to be helpful to me in my listening either, and so on. So like, for example, you want to know, you want to make a flashcard for the word ima, which means now, and the one for gakse, which means student. You might not want to make a flashcard for the word, for example, if you scroll down, reading. Like, do you want to, like, is that going to be directly useful to you? If you want, you can. Or the word for international relations, you know. In the beginning, you're going to have to make single word flashcards because you don't really have enough words to make full sentences. So we're gonna go through the list. I wanna know how to say the word now. So it says ima right here. Make a flashcard for the word ima. So you type ima on the front, in the meaning side, you put the meaning, which is now. If you want, add an image from Google, if it helps. I mean, if you want, okay, there's not really that many good images to represent the word now, but, you know, just get a random image, snippet tool it, paste on the image side if you want. Don't have to put an image. And so on. You move on, add flashcard. And you go through the whole list, picking out the words you want and making flashcards from them. The Japanese on the front, the English meaning, or whatever to help you learn the meaning on the back side. The back has the mean, everything else. So the front of the flashcard is the expression section, everything else is on the back. And you're gonna do that. Next section, scroll down, is the grammar section, right? So the grammar section is teaching you grammar. So what you're gonna do here is you're gonna go through it, you're going to read the grammar description, understand it, and then with the examples, they get the example sentences they teach you, and then make flashcards with those. These are going to be your first sentences that you're mining. So as you can see here, it's teaching you how to use wa and des, and it's giving you example sentences. So all you're going to do to make your grammar flashcards is that you're going to type in ju ni, what was it, ju ni jihan des. Oh my gosh, writing in just hiragana is so weird, bro. It's normally written in, you know, with kanji. But anyway, you're going to put in hiragana and katakana if you don't know how to read kanji yet. And then on the back, you're going to type in the meaning, which is it is 12:30. And also on the back, you're going to put the explanation of the grammar point that's being used. So right now it's teaching us the meaning of des, which is it is. So I'm lazy, so I'm just going to snippet tool the whole explanation and put it on the image side as to only the part that explains what des is. I'd recommend that obviously you guys read the description and obviously in your own words put the grammar explanation on the back. Someone who's smart will just put des means it is, and that's it. That's the grammar point. You've understood it, that's it, and you move on. Add flashcard. Make multiple example sentence flashcards for that same grammar point if you want, if it helps you understand that grammar point. Because the whole point of you in the beginning is to input, no output. So you're not going to be making flashcards testing your ability to create sentences. All you're doing right now is getting example sentences that are going to help you understand Japanese grammar or the structure of the Japanese language. Next section here is teaching us how to make questions with sentences. You're going to do the same process until you go through the whole grammar section in the Genki book for that chapter and make example sentences, sentence flashcards basically, sentence mining from the Genki book with sentences that you understand and know the meaning of each word in the sentence, by the way. That's why they gave you the vocabulary list first, so you can learn the vocabulary on its own, and then when you move on to the grammar section, the example sentences should include vocabulary that's from the list above. And you should be able to understand all of the example sentences that they're using in the grammar section when making your flashcards, because obviously you've learned the vocabulary list. So we're going to skip this grammar section now. Expression notes, again, make flashcards from those, add them to the relevant vocabulary cards or the sentence cards that you've made. Scroll down. And here's a practice section. If you want, practice through them. I recommend you go, yeah, practice makes perfect, but we're not trying to output right now, so I skipped the practice part. I don't care about, because language is not sitting down writing, spending hours in your textbook and writing and so on and practicing. Practicing will come later when you start outputting. Right now, just input. Scroll, so skip the practice part, and that's it. That's literally it. That's one chapter done. Now it's on lesson 2. Again, repeat the same process again. Read the dialogue if you want. Scroll down to the section for vocabulary. Make a sentence. Pick out the vocabulary that you like or whatever you feel like is relevant to you. Make flashcards from it. Then scroll to the grammar section. Read the grammar, and then get an example sentence that represents that grammar point. Get 1, 2, 3, whatever, 4, 5, whatever, how many you need to understand that grammar point, and then make an Anki flashcard from them. Simple, right? If you don't understand a grammar point, skip it. Don't even stress about it. If you don't understand what wa means, skip that. But obviously, that's an example. You should be able to understand. It's not too hard. But if you don't understand a grammar point, skip it. Why? Because through your immersion, like, I would recommend that you just make a flashcard for that grammar point and then study it every night. Study it as you go through your decks. But through immersion, you're going to hear it being used in real life, in context, and then one day it will just click and you understand the grammar point. So if you don't understand it from the textbook, later, don't worry about it. Later, when you hear it through immersion, you understand it. That's what happened to me when I've been learning Japanese as well. Each chapter is structured the same way, so you're going to be doing the same thing. Even the Genki 2 book is structured the same way, and that's what you're going to do. So now, once you've gone through Genki 1 and Genki 2, by the end of it, you should now have a lot of example sentences in your deck, in your whatever deck you decided to put it in. You should have a lot of example sentences there, explaining to you different grammar points, and you should understand the structure of the Japanese language to a certain extent. As a good amount of grammar, or at least enough grammar for you to go through the core 2000 deck. So once you've finished Genki 1 and Genki 2, made flashcards for everything in the book, and you've reviewed it and you've completed the deck as well, so you've reviewed it fully, so you've gone here and you've read all your flashcards and you understand all the words, then you can start with your core 2000 deck, which has pre-made sentence flashcards. And so when you go into the core deck here, sorry, let's look for example sentence. Now, when you read this sentence right here, watashi wa e o miru no ga suki desu, you're going to understand what watashi means because you made a flashcard for the meaning of the word watashi. You're going to understand that, okay, wa means this and this and that, whatever the explanation is of wa from the Genki textbook. And you're going to understand, okay, this is a grammar point. You're going to see the word you're going to be knowing, okay, this means picture. And you're going to understand, like, okay, noga is again a grammar point, and then des at the end is another grammar point. So your brain's understanding different parts of the Japanese language, because you've, learned it through the Genki 1 and Genki 2 books. And now going through the core deck is not going to be too hard for you or too confusing, or it's going to make sense to you. Yeah, and that's it. Basically, all that's left for you now is to grind your way through the core 2000 deck, learn all the 2000 words in that deck, and then you can start the real sentence mining. Because by then you would have known 2000 sentences, because obviously the core 2000 deck teaches you sentences for those 2000 words, and you also have the sentences that you mine from the Genki textbook, and some extra vocabulary that you learn from making flashcards from the vocabulary list in those Genki 1 and Genki 2 textbooks. So you should know around 2,500, maybe 3,000 words. Look at that by the end of everything I've just told you right now. And then you can start the actual sentence mining, where it's like your sentence mining from native media. And that's what my next video is going to be about. My next video is going to be about how to sentence mine, and that's more targeted to the intermediate level or those who have passed the Genki 1 and Genki 2 books and have already completed the Core 2000 deck. So look forward to that video. Oh yeah, another thing I forgot to mention, before you start doing your Core 2000 deck, what you're going to do is go into the browse section. You're going to click on the Core 2000 deck. There's obviously going to be 10 steps, so you're going to have more than just this deck here. For each one of those decks, you're going to click the card tab here. It will sort out the decks, the flashcards by the card type. As you can see, it says reading, reading, reading. You're going to go to the part where it says production. Here we go, the production flashcards. These are flashcards where it's showing you the English on the front. Let me just show you. English on the front, and it's testing your ability to recall the Japanese. As I said before, right now, you're only trying to input Japanese, no output. So what I'm going to recommend you do is that you click on the first production flashcard, go all the way up, hold shift, click, highlight all the production cards, right click, toggle suspend. Because right now you don't need to produce. You're not trying to, there's no point in wasting time on flashcards testing your ability to recall the words. Yeah, if you want, you can. Everyone has their own way of learning Japanese. I personally wouldn't do that. And suspending the production cards reduces the amount of cards you have to review, and it can speed up the process so that you can quickly move on to actual sentence mining from native media, Netflix, anime, and so on. So yeah, you don't want to spend too much time on the Core 2000 deck because those are just pre-made sentences and you're not really even getting much context. Where you really start seeing your Japanese improving is when you're learning from native content. So yeah, that basically does it for this video. And one thing I'm going to let you guys know is that this whole process, going through the Genki 1 and Genki 2 books, making your flashcards, learning those flashcards, then moving on to the Core 2000 deck, it should all take you, if you're doing about 20 cards a day, new cards a day, it should all take you about almost like a year to get through. So don't rush the process. Like, it's gonna take some time, around a year, but you're going to see a lot of improvement throughout that year. So it's the best part of the journey. Now, look forward to my next video because that's where I'm going to be teaching you how to sentence mine as an intermediate, Japanese learner, or how to sentence mine after you finish everything I've taught you in this video right now. So look forward to that. I'm going to be teaching you how to get audio in your flashcards and so many other stuff. And yeah, because the whole process takes time, you're gonna need some people to just cheer you on in the whole journey. So again, join my Discord in the server below to find more people trying to learn the Japanese language, and you guys can chill together as you go through this journey. But yeah, that does it for me today. Ja, matane.